It has been an entire year since I released Mugman Does Nothing videos. Do you feel old yet? I have been posting many Cuphead challenge videos since, and thank you guys for all the support in the comments. However, there is one comment that stuck out to me, and that was from Soonish, and they commented how I forgot the secret bosses. And then an idea came along. What if I combine the challenges that I have done into one video? So here we are, 4 challenges I have done on Cuphead, but with secret bosses. I will also be telling which secret phases are better to do than the normal phases, and the ones which are just straight now. What are you waiting for? Grab a pea shooter potion and let's go. Oh wait, I almost forgot something. If you haven't seen any of my other challenge videos, I highly recommend all of them. Well, except the Cuphead Does Nothing. That one wasn't really that special, but I highly recommend most of them. So, you can watch those before watching this. Huh? Pew! Pew! Ow! In Mugman Does Nothing, it should be self-explanatory. Mugman has to do nothing the whole time. Other than spawning, he can't move, jump, shoot, dash, all that jazz. Hey, that actually rhymed. Nice. And I have to keep Mugman alive at all costs. If Mugman dies and goes above the screen, I have to restart the fight. Now, if you hit remove player 2 to move Mugman, that's okay. Only rules for those are only using it 3 times per fight and spawn Mugman within 10 seconds. I'm allowed to give Mugman Twin Heart. With all the rules out of the way, let's go. Our first boss of this collage of challenge is the easiest, obviously enough. Sal's butter became mashed potatoes in a few seconds. Now, this time we do not shoot Ollie Bulb and we summon the radish while Chauncey is doing his thing. Mugman is just standing there, and that makes him an easy target for the radish. So the radish will home onto Mugman, and this makes this fight that much harder. And it is a little easier getting away from the radish because you can parry Mugman and you get a little airtime. We defeat the radish and seemingly kill it, and we beat the root peck. I think this secret phase is okay. While Ollie Bulb is easy to defeat, this one is alright. Anyways, let's head to the next boss. The next boss is a plain boss. Jimmy can get irritating even when using his wishes against him. Phase 1 is random, with swords, treasure, cats. I just try to shoot down Jimmy as fast as I can. Phase 2 just sucks. Jimmy turns into some sort of hieroglyphics wall, and to save Mugman, I have to take a hit in between the hieroglyphics. So using the same strategy that I use whenever I'm in a Cuphead plain boss doing these challenges, stay close to Mugman. Phase 3 is usually the shortest phase in the fight. Unfortunately, in 2-player mode, the player deals less damage to the boss. Anyways, in this phase, Jimmy shoots the player with eye Saturns while mummies are coming after you. This time, we remove Mugman and shrink down. Now Jimmy will activate his secret phase. Now this phase is just like the final phase, just beefed up. Once we spawn Mugman near Jimmy's face, I have Divine Relic, and it includes whetstone. See where this is going? And many Cuphead's bullets are not hard to dodge, and some were even parryable, which makes it all the better. The pyramids were not bad, and Jimmy's laser eye beams were easy to get around. And we show Jimmy who's boss, and I think this secret phase is beneficial. The normal phase 4 was a pain to keep Mugman alive, and I have to remove Mugman 2 times in this fight, where here I only had to do it once. Let's move on to the next boss. Sally's stage plays fight is entirely different with the secret phases. If you are Chalice, double jump, or if you're Cuphead, parry Sally's kiss or use whetstone and jump onto the angel baby things, and the rest of the fight are the secret phases. The first secret phase is the normal second phase, but replaces the babies with nuns throwing rulers, while Sally is spinning, throwing fans, and summoning mice toys. And it's not too bad. However, the second secret phase is a problem. Instead of just Sally's whatever this thing is, does not let Mugman chill on the stage, but rather kill him because Sally's husband has come back for revenge and summons babies who summon fireballs, while Sally summons thunder and a meteor and a tsunami. And it got so hard to the point where I had to use remove player 2. And as you know, this is not a really optimal route to go. The final secret phase was just the final phase, and we beat Sally. I think this secret phase is not recommended because of the second secret phase alone. Let's head to the next boss. The next fight is kinda like a plane fight, but it functions as a ground boss. The Howling Aces are tricky to deal with, especially since Mugman is doing nothing. In the first phase, Mugman is always on the left side of the plane, causing the plane to lead towards Mugman all the time. So switch player 1 with player 2, and now Mugman will spawn differently. And there, the leading shenanigans is no problem. You can make Mugman die and manipulate him to go into the middle of the plane, and that helps because of the bulldog going left and right, so it really helps. There are also puppy cadets that shoot out tennis balls, and just avoid the bulldog's tattoos and the cat yarns and keep Mugman alive, and you'll make it to the second phase. This time, carefully shoot down the puppy cadets until all of them have gray smoke, and Sergeant O'Farah will take the cadets and start the secret phase. Here, instead of flipping the screen, the puppies will throw pineapple grenades and fire hydrants will fall upon the screen. And the main target is Sergeant O'Farah. Make sure to shoot down and save Mugman, and this fight will be over. And this secret phase is okay. It is an easier phase, but hard to enter. So let's go to our next challenge. Long story short, it is just the rules with Mugman does nothing, but I can't use the DLC items. Jimmy can still be activated without the DLC, so Jimmy's wishes do not count. And because of not having the DLC, we thankfully can skip the Howling Aces boss. With all the rules out of the way, Cuphead will take his revenge on Mugman. Now, I've never covered the root pack in the original video, but let's just say it's the same as Mugman does nothing. So yeah, this secret phase is okay for the same reasons as Mugman does nothing. However, this next boss is more interesting. Now this boss is the most interesting out of this challenge. Jimmy the Great was the first boss where I had to use the remove player 2 mechanism. The first phase depends on the best attack, and the best one are the knives. Yeah. The second phase depends on Cuphead's health. If he has a few left, it's not bad. If he has one, you are going to have to take a hit. Phase 3 was straightforward. Just shoot Jimmy or whatever this thing is, and we make it to phase 4. Yet again, we take a different approach. We shrink, and the secret phase, whetstone the boss, and yet again, this boss is beneficial for the same reasons. Now, I've never covered Sally's stage plays fight in the original video, but once again, this is an entirely different route with the secret phases. Parry Sally's kiss or use whetstone onto both of the angel babies, and the rest of the fight is just the secret phases and yada yada yada. Third phase screwed up the run, and we had to use remove player 2, and the final phase was just the same as normal. And this fight is not recommended because of the third phase alone. Now let's go on to a more interesting challenge. There was a reason why I planned to cancel this challenge originally. Now, before we get started, if this video gets 100 views, I will give my sister $1. She deserves it, and she can have it once we hit that goal. Okay, this might sound confusing, however, imagine this. These 4 Joy-Cons, 2 negatives, 2 positives. Now, one player negative Joy-Con goes here, and one player positive goes the other way around. For the second player, it's the same thing, just swap it. So both players control both characters. I have a graph here, and after every boss we switch controllers so we don't memorize the layout. Let's go! The root pack was the root pack. And I still have PTSD from doing this challenge originally. But my biggest tip, mostly focus on 1 Joy-Con per phase. For an example, Sal Sputter, just jump, and we make it to the second phase. This time we spare Oli and summon the radish, while Chauncey is using his laser eye and controls the carrot missiles. All while the radish is just spinning like there's no tomorrow. Now this makes this phase that much harder. And it was hard normally, but now with something constantly homing at the player, it was not great. But we defeated the radish and defeated the root pack. This secret phase is not recommended because of the radish alone. Oli Bulb is not a very hard enemy. You just have to move left and right. And here, however, you gotta deal with the radish. Let's head into an easier boss. Jimmy the Great was thankfully one of the plane bosses. If you didn't know, in this challenge, the plane bosses are easier than the ground bosses. Just hold shoot on the 2+ Joy-Cons and move around and make sure to tell the other person to parry if you want to parry. Back to the point. Sure, it was hard to move around, but it's not all that bad once you get used to it. We skip to the 4th phase, and this time we both shrink to activate the secret phase. Here, it's just the final phase, but with mini Cuphead. But as long as you communicate with your teammate about parrying, just never stop shooting. Jimmy will shoot eye lasers while the pyramids are shooting the same thing, while Cuphead is shooting the mini bullets. Thankfully, it's not too bad, and we beat Jimmy. Jimmy's secret phase is okay. The plane fights are really easy with this challenge, thankfully. So let's head to the next boss. Sally's stage plays fight is once again entirely different with the secret phases. If you're Chalice, double jump, or if you're Cuphead or Mugman, parry Sally's kiss and use whetstone onto both of the angel babies, you get the deal. And the rest of the fight are the secret bosses, as usual. The first secret phase is the normal second phase, but replaces the babies with nuns, with rulers, while Sally's spinning, throwing fans, summoning mice toys. It's not fun to control both characters while paying attention to all those attacks. Especially gets bad, however, during the second secret phase. Here, we have to worry about avoiding a huge wave while Sally's husband is summoning babies to throw fireballs while Sally sends lightning. Just stay near each other until the final secret phase. Speaking of which, the final secret phase was scary because we had to heavily communicate our actions to avoid the umbrella, and that was very stressful. And we defeated Sally's stage play. This fight is okay. I know that this entire challenge, all the secret bosses phases are getting the lower ratings because it's very difficult to adjust to this challenge. But yeah. Anyways, let's head to our next boss. Wait, what's the dog doing again? I was worried about this fight because of the awkward movement at this level. But phase 1 is not all that bad. We made it to phase 2, and this time we carefully shoot down the puppy cadets until all of them have gray smoke, and Sergeant O'Farah will take the cadets and the secret phase will start. The puppies will shoot out pineapple grenades, and if shot, they will explode into 3 spikes. And there are also the fire hydrants heading your way to attack, but Sergeant O'Farah is the main target to hit. You can hit the puppies to cancel their throw, which is very helpful with controlling 2 or 1 if the other one died characters, and you will beat this boss. And this secret phase is not recommended because entering the secret phase is even more difficult than it already was. You have to carefully tell your teammate to keep shooting or stop shooting, and that gets old fast. Now, let's go to my least favorite challenge mentally. Now, this is personally my least favorite challenge to do. It turns out I still have the D- file, and I saved it up for an instance like this, so we will be using this file. In order to complete a D- run, you need a bad time, which means you have to stay in a boss for way longer, have 1 HP by the end of the boss, which is scary because it's 1 hit left, then you have to start all over. You can't parry, which is unfortunate. Never use EX or supers, which suck even more. And to put the whipped cream on top, I have to use Chaser and Twin Heart. This means that I have a really weak weapon against the bosses. And to put the cherry on top, I have to do all of this on expert mode, which sucks for me. Oh well, you guys enjoy my pain, but let's start this run. I hated every second of this challenge, with many tears flowing down my eyes while I'm doing this challenge originally. So I'm used to all of it. In phase 1, let me ask you a question. Would you rather dodge this for 3 to 5 minutes, or take 1 hit and rest for a little bit? I thought so. Just wait for 3 minutes, then shoot down Sal's Sputter for the last time. We do not shoot Ollie Bulb, and we summon the Radish. The Radish does the Radish, while Chauncey does the Chauncey. Now, because I can't use any good weapons or supers to quickly get rid of the Radish, I have to just use Chaser with the worst damage. And it is pretty scary because 1 HP is really dangerous to have on the last phase, considering it's on expert mode. But once we destroy the Radish, we take Chauncey head on and we defeat the Root Pack. This secret phase is okay. While only Bulb was the hardest enemy to take down in this fight, the Radish easily makes Chucksy's phase the worst phase to deal with. But it's not to the point where I cried. Let's head to the next boss. Jimmy the Great. Make sure you have the bombs for this fight. For Jimmy, the best phase to dodge in is Jimmy's first phase. The attacks in the first phase were the knives, and this is the best one. Shrink the plane, then go behind Jimmy and move up and down for more time than I would like to admit. Once you are ready to get out, make sure the first 3 knives are done being thrown and carefully move in front of Jimmy and shoot him down. In the second phase, I have a tip. If there are 2 face pillars in one pillar, shoot both down. This will make the third phase much easier and shorter. In the third phase, Jimmy shoots eyes and mummies are coming after you, and we make it to the fourth phase. And for the last time, we shrink for Jimmy's secret phase, and this phase is worse than normal. You already know Jimmy's attacks, but that's not what I was worried about. While doing this challenge, normally Jimmy's final phase, you know it's gonna end soon. And Mini Puphead had me lose so many runs, and you have no idea whether it's Puphead's or Jimmy's final phase. And it puts even more stress on than usual. But after many attempts, we beat Jimmy's secret phase. Jimmy's secret phase is not recommended because of the stress knowing that it's the secret phase. Because Mini Puphead just kept screwing up my runs, and Jimmy's final phase has more HP than usual, which can be confusing. And it is much scarier. But let's move on to the next boss. Here we are. Now, Sally's stage play. Notice something? I will give you a few seconds to figure it out. And there. In this challenge, I can't parry Sally's kiss, so how else am I gonna get up there? And if you said I can use whetstone or chalice to get up there, nope. I'm forced to use Twin Heart for the entirety of this challenge, meaning that Sally's secret phases are impossible for this challenge. So with that disappointment out of the way, let's head to the last boss of this collage. For our last boss in this collage of videos, of challenges that I've already done, made me cry. In the first phase, the bulldog will use tattoos and the cat from Werner Vermin shooting yarn balls at you while puppy cadets are shooting tennis balls and fire hydrants are being shot at you. And we will make it to phase 2. For the last time, we carefully shoot down the puppy cadets until all of them have gray smoke, and Sergeant O'Farah will take the cadets and the secret phase will start. The fire hydrants are homing, and this phase is very stressful because this is expert mode. And the puppies might have taken coffee or some other substances and throw them like crazy. And Chaser being Chaser, will home onto the pineapples if you are not careful, resulting in a stupid hit. And this makes surviving this phase harder. But after many hours of pain and suffering and crying, I beat the Howling Aces, and I can finally say that this secret phase is not recommended because of how fast the puppies throw the pineapple grenades, and in the normal phase, you have to aim for one target. So, this is not recommended. Now that we finished all the secret phases, let's now head to the conclusion. Now that we have completed the entire run, I will show my deaths for the D- run, which has a total of 311 total deaths. And the original total was 247. So, with my proper calculations and, divided by 2 times 2, it could also be known as 8 times 8. I died 64 times, and now that I showed my death count, I can now finally relieve my pain and suffering by destroying the D- file once and for all. Thank you, Soonish, for giving me the idea for this challenge video, and this will be my last Cuphead video for a while. And from now on, I will include the secret phases in my videos. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next month. Bum, bum.